Welcome to the deep dive. We unpack topics to give you what you need, minus the endless searching. Today, we're stepping onto the pitch. We're focusing on, well, the fascinating world of top football goalkeepers. We want to understand who the best are, right now, and really get a handle on what makes them so highly rated between the sticks.
Yeah, it's such a crucial position, isn't it? And what's really interesting is how differently you assess a keeper compared to, say, an outfield player.
Hmm.
Goals, assists, they're pretty clear metrics. But for goalies, it's a much more complex picture. We'll be looking at different opinions, different lists, and the qualities that people seem to value most.
Absolutely. And look, for those of you tuning in maybe to boost your English skills through football, this deep dive is definitely for you. We'll be hearing lots of common football language, words and phrases used to describe player abilities, how they perform,
Right.
and we'll listen to how experts and fans talk about who the really top players are.
Right. Our aim today is to really explore what makes an elite goalkeeper, identifying those key attributes of the things that separate the best from the rest, and also understanding that, well, the various ways these players are judged. It's all about building a solid understanding of this vital role.
Okay, let's unpack this then. One of the first things you notice, right, when you start looking at who the best goalkeepers are, is that there isn't really one single universally agreed upon answer. It seems to depend a lot on what you prioritize.
Exactly. You see all these different rankings out there, and each one seems to have its own angle, its own way of looking at things.
Yeah, it highlights that subjectivity, doesn't it?
It really does. Each ranking probably weighs different factors differently. For instance, some analyses will look hard at clean sheets, how much they contribute to the team winning, their overall career achievements, appearances, total clean sheets, trophies won. Those are all kind of concrete things you can point to.
And when you drill down into specific players, the English Premier League gives us some really interesting examples. Let's talk Alisson, Liverpool. He often comes up as number one in several discussions. What is it about him? What makes him stand out so much?
Well, Allison, he's often described as like a silky smooth stopper, very dependable, with incredible reactions. Think lightning fast reflexes, reacting suddenly, getting something in the way. Excellent positioning, too.
Right.
But what's also really significant now is how modern keepers get involved in attacking play. Allison's known for starting attacks, accurate throws, good passes. He gets involved in the build-up play, that whole process of starting attacks from the back.
And the awards back it up, yeah. Golden Gloves, Yashin Trophy.
Exactly. Winning the Premier League Golden Glove multiple times, that's for most clean sheets in a season. And the Yashin Trophy, which is the big individual award for keepers, it just underlines his consistent high level.
Okay. Then there's David Raya at Arsenal. He's another one ranked very highly in some places. There was quite a bit of chat when he first joined Arsenal, how he became their number one. What are his key strengths?
Yeah, that whole conversation around Raya often involved the competition for the spot, but his qualities are pretty clear. He's really noted for his skill with the ball at his feet, that willingness to quickly start attacks. It's a key part of Arsenal's tactics under Arteta.
Yeah.
People sometimes call it Arteta ball, that style.
So the distribution is key.
Hugely. But he's not just about his feet. He's also got these cat-like reflexes. Very agile. And winning the Golden Glove the season before these rankings came out just shows he's a top-quality shot stopper, too.
Right. Okay, what about Ederson, Manchester City? Always in the conversation, maybe slightly fallen down the pecking order in some recent lists. What's the view?
Ederson's development has been really interesting. He was specifically brought in for that exceptional ability with his feet, letting City play out from the back so effectively. His shot stopping is highly rated too, generally.
But maybe some questions now.
Well, the mention in one source about his confidence-looking shot might hint at maybe a slight dip or just more scrutiny. But despite that, his role in controlling possession, playing out of trouble, it's still absolutely crucial for City. And look at the medals. Multiple Premier League titles, Golden Gloves. That speaks volumes about his quality over time.
Now, looking at it slightly differently, within the Premier League, there's this other way of ranking keepers, based on a goals conceded versus matches played coefficient. It's more statistical. It brings up Alisson, Raya, Ederson again, but also a whole lot of other names. What does that tell us?
Yeah, that kind of ranking gives you a more data-focused view. Purely looking at the ratio, goals conceded to games played, it highlights who's been, statistically at least, most effective at just stopping the ball going in.
But maybe not the whole picture.
Exactly. It doesn't necessarily tell you about distribution or how they command their box or leadership, but it's another valuable piece of the puzzle, another metric to consider.
Got it. So it's not just about the highlight reel saves. Okay, let's look beyond England now. Some global giants. Manuel Neuer, Bayern Munich. Still right up there in these discussions, isn't he, after all this time?
Oh, absolutely. Neuer's a proper legend, and the fact he continues to operate at a high level, even after a major injury, and, he's in the twilight years of his career, it just shows incredible resilience, incredible quality. He basically popularized that sweeper-keeper role, didn't he? Coming off his line, anticipated.
The original sweeper-keeper, yeah. World Cup winner, Champions Leagues.
The trophy cabinet speaks for itself.
Then there's Gianluigi Donnarumma at PSG. He pops up very high in some analyses. Came onto the scene incredibly young.
That's right. Debut for AC Milan at just 16. Huge expectations from day one, really. And he's pretty much gone from strength to strength, just kept improving. His performances at Euro 2020 were immense. Those penalty saves? Player to the tournament.
Huge moments.
Definitely. And winning the Yashin Trophy just cemented his place among the elite.
Thibaut Courtois, Real Madrid, another name you just see consistently near the very top. His height, that gets mentioned a lot.
Yeah, that 6'7" in frame is a massive advantage. Gives him incredible reach, helps him command the penalty area. Just a really imposing figure. And he's won big things at different clubs, even coming back from that serious knee injury for a Champions League final. Shows how vital he is.
And Marc-Andre ter Stegen at Barcelona. High praise there, too. Something about an amazing clean sheet record last season.
Yeah, that was exceptional. Recording a whopping 26 clean sheets in La Liga. That's just outstanding. Really emphasizes his consistency and, well, how strong Barca's defense was that season, too.
Okay. And one more, Emiliano Martinez at Aston Villa. He's interesting. Features in a lot of top tens, especially after the World Cup.
Yeah, his role in Argentina winning the World Cup was massive.
Yeah.
Especially the penalty shootouts. Describing him as basically a cheat code in penalty shootouts kind of sums it up, doesn't it? His impact from 12 yards.
Definitely gives Argentina an edge there.
For sure. He's clearly top class, though sometimes there's that discussion. Does he need a move to an even bigger club for wider recognition? Maybe.
And we've heard other names too, haven't we? Unai Simon, Oblak, Maignan, Sommer, from different leagues. It really shows the depth of talent globally.
Exactly. The fact we can just reel off names like Simon with his big saves, Oblak's pure shot stopping, Maignan's ball playing, Sommer's penalty heroics, it just shows there's incredible quality right across the top level of the game. Different leagues, different styles.
And it feels clear that what we expect from a goalkeeper now,
Right.
It's really shifted over the years. You often hear that phrase now, you need to be as good with your hands as you are with your feet.
That's such an important point. It feels like since certain managers, like Guardiola maybe, came in, there's been this much greater emphasis on keepers who don't just save shots. They need to be able to pick out a pass, almost act like a playmaker from deep. Starting attacks, controlling the game's flow from the back.
Yeah.
It's become vital for top teams.
Right. And we mentioned the sweeper-keeper role being important for quick counters and build-up play. It's not just reacting anymore. They have to be involved, proactive.
Precisely. The modern keeper needs to read the game, be comfortable way off their line sometimes, and have the technique to join in with the outfield play. Often the starting point for attacks, not just the last line of defense.
So finally, let's just think about how we actually judge these players. We've seen different lists use different criteria. Goals conceded, overall performance, career success, specific skills like ball playing.
Yeah, and some analyses get really statistical. They look at like the level of the games played, the results, and how a keeper's save percentage compares to what you'd expect based on the shots they faced.
Yeah.
Trying to factor in the difficulty of the saves, the context. It aims for a more objective view using data.
Okay, so wrapping it all up then. It seems the world of top goalkeepers is just packed with talent right now. Lots of different players, unique strengths, different leagues, different styles. And deciding who's the absolute best, it really boils down to what qualities you personally value most in a keeper.
And for you listening, hopefully you've now got a bit more insight into some of these top names, the skills they have, and the different ways people evaluate them. It should definitely help your understanding when you're watching games or listening to analysis, and you've picked up some useful English football terms along the way, too.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. As football keeps changing, tactics keep evolving. How do you see the role of the goalkeeper changing in the future? And how we assess them? What skills do you think will become even more crucial in the years to come? Something to ponder until our next deep dive.
Your passion for the game can make learning English, well, not just easier, but actually fun.
Which is key, isn't it? Enjoyment.
Exactly. And it's fascinating how, our brains work. When you're genuinely into something, like, say, the latest transfer gossip or a really nail-biting match,
Yeah.
your brain is just much more open to taking in new information.
Yeah.
It's not like forcing yourself through, I don't know, boring grammar exercises.
No forced marks.
It's more like absorbing the language sort of naturally within a context you already get and, importantly, you care about. You're just more likely to notice new words, different ways of phrasing things.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like study, does it?
Not at all. It's just keeping up with a sport you love.
Exactly.
Look, if you're finding this deep dive helpful and you want to keep exploring this whole connection between football and learning English, there's something really simple but really important you can do for us.
That's right. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
And it keeps us motivated, honestly, to keep bringing you more content that mixes your love for football with ways to actually improve your English.
Exactly. By subscribing, you'll get those daily updates. Football news, real English, fun content, all designed to help you get better.
So yeah, make sure you don't miss out. See you in the next one.